So while GDC did technically create the chess line constraint that looks at different pieces and how they work in numpad, it is an expansion on this idea originally by this guy Zegres, who came up with this numpad nightline idea, and then GDC took that and expanded it to all the other pieces, which had a lot of really cool implications beyond that. So this was the original puzzle that basically inspired that, and I figured it'd be kind of cool to go through the lineage and tackle this one. This one's supposed to be a little bit tougher. I have no idea. It might just be labeled as such because you have to make the deductions around the nightline, but we've learned quite a bit now since we've done a few puzzles using the chess lines. So maybe it'll be easier. We'll see. Digits on an arrow sum to the circle digit. Digits on the cages sum to given total. And we have a night line. I'm very jealous with how pretty the night is. In fact, if you look at the original thing here, it's a very, very pretty night. Very jealous that, but this is way more clear, so I do appreciate that as well. So interesting. Well, we know already that 5s can't be on the night line, so that does help us here a little bit. Can't quite eliminate too much of it. The other thing we know about night lines is that they must go through a odd-even parity. So we can, oh, this shape looks familiar. If you guys remember my knight Sudoku, my anti-knight one before, has a very similar shape. I think this is correctly skipping one. Just gonna quickly trace over this because I've been known to mistrace things. Okay, so no, that's an odd even parity here, and this doesn't help us that much. Maybe if I color the other one as well, color the other side, you see if any groups of 4 show up here. I'll use purple. I have a group of 3 in here, and a group of 3 like this, and a group of 3 here too. 3 here. Okay, so nothing too helpful there just yet. Let's take a look at these sums. They can really take anything. Yeah. Okay, but we know. Well, this is interesting. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought these two have to add up to the same number, but that's not right. 16 minus from our secret 45. We have what? 39, 29. So this has to add up to 29 total. But with these numbers, get to reuse this number twice. Maybe easier with a smaller number. Let's see. 45, 37, 27. 27 divided by 2. 27 divided by 2 is 13 and a half. Well, that's interesting, right? Because obviously neither of these is 13 and a half. But they do use the same number twice to get there. No, sorry, these two numbers will have to add up to 13 and a half, right? Yeah, because this is 27, so split that in 2. But one of them does get reused. This one was 29, so it's 14 and a half. So these two numbers add up to somewhere 14-ish. If this was a 9, if the 9 gets used twice, so then these will have to add up to 20. These will only have to add up to 10. These will only have to add up to 10. Obviously there's lots of ways to do that. And then the smaller end, if this was a 1, subtracted from 29 is leaves us with 14. And these add up to 14 each. Yeah, 28 each. But I do think there's something to be said about this, because ultimately we have to add up to 45, right? I'm trying to think whether this can be an odd number or not. I think let's just come up with a scenario here. Just throw some numbers at it because I'm having a hard time visualizing this. So let's just arbitrarily choose something here. Let's just say this is 1249. Let's just say that. And then we're using an odd number 3 for this, right? So this is now 26, which means these need to add up to 13, right? This needs to be 13, or does it? It's just because when it's using this by itself twice, it's just so weird. Maybe it'd be easier to add the 3 into it and divide it by 2. Yeah, so instead we have to think of this as equaling 16 here. Because this is 29 plus the 3, again, gives us 32. And then now we can divide, this would be 16 in total here, and this is 16 down here. I think that works. This may not be 16 up here, but at least this has to be 16 down here, I think. Does that math work out? Let's just throw some numbers on here. Again, I'm just checking here. We need something, well, what are the remaining numbers? Let's just think about that. Right, we are missing 5, 6, 7, and 8. So, this doesn't even look possible, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. I think this number in the middle here has to be fairly small. You just try 3. I guess if it was 3, 5, 6 could get 9. That might be something here. I don't want to bifurcate too much, but let's just try, see what happens if we do like a 1 here. So let's say there's no 1s, which means this has to be, let's just choose 2, 3, 4, 7. So now we're left with 29 plus 1, 15, right? So I'm guessing this will have to be 6 and 9, and then this would be a 5, and this would be an 8. Yeah, 5, 8. Okay, cool. So this example is valid. Everything works out correctly. So now my question was, this is now 15, and this is 14 to make 29. So whatever number is here, we add it to the total, or we add it to 29, and divide by 2, that'll give us this. And then we subtract this from the half again to get this. No, we have to subtract this twice from it to get the other one, right? So this is 29. We threw a 1 in here, so now it's 30. Divided by 2 is 15. So these two need to add to 15. Then from the 15, we take the middle number out twice to give us 13, which is what these two add up to. Okay, got it. So knowing that, now what? If this is a 1, this is a 1, we are left with 15 here. Let's just go through each of the scenarios here. So we have 1, which gives us 15. If it's a 2, 2 is impossible. Because now we add 2, we get 31. So it has to be an odd number. That's what I was going for. I wanted to know if it had to be an odd number. And so the same thing here. Because we're left with 27, this has to be an odd number as well. Then we add and yeah, okay. So then 3 would give us 16, which would necessitate 7 and 9. Now, is there any possibility? Yes, it can be without 7 or 9. We just chose a bad one at the beginning here. Okay, so the 16 does work. And then if it's a 5, 34, 17, and that's the last one that works. So this has to be 1, 3, or 5. 1, 3, or 5. Now, does everything use as an 8? No, they can use just 7. Okay, so 1, 3, or 5. Which means these have to be high numbers, right? Because we had 15, 16, 17. So these are taken from 6, 7, 8. Let's look over here now. I think there's probably more options this way, because 1 would give us 14. 1 would give us 14. 3 would give us 15. 5 would give us 16. And then 7 would give us the 17. Yeah, okay. Now, the question is, here, we can still have a situation where we don't need 8 and 9. So, that's all still valid. It just can't be 9, basically. Okay. And then this is taken from 5, 6, 7, 8. We do have quite a few high numbers taken here. We can only get one more high number out from here. I wonder if 5 is difficult. Because if we go with 14, and this is a 5, 9, this would be 1, 4, 8. I think that should still work, right? This one works 2, 3, 2, 3, 6, 7. Row 7, column 8, 7. Would the break the circles in the other box? Oh, that is a good question. Because if this is an 8, 9, then the highest this could be is a 13, and then the 1, no, the 5 was our highest, right? No, it'll be the 1. 1 was our lowest. 1 would give us at least a 4, needs to be at least a 15. So yeah, 7 would break the other one. Good catch. Is that true for 15, for 5 as well? 5 would bump this one up to 32, which is 16, 7, 9. 7, 9 would leave us with 6 and 8, which is 14. Yeah, that's too much as well, because again, 1 would take us to 30 and 15. 15 is the minimum here. So this can't be a 5 as well. And I wonder if the flip side is true here. Can we get rid of 1? We need a 15. We need a 15. We'll leave this one as a 15, which means it needs to get up to a 30, right? It's at 27, so it can't get up there with a 3. So this could be 1, and then this would be 3. In fact, if this was a 3, this has to be a 1. Is that true? No, I don't think so. No, it would be true, because this will take up 2 of the highs from this one. In fact, okay, yeah. Okay. If this was 3, this must be a 1. If this was a 1 though, that would make this a 14. And then I think we have some wiggle room. What if this was a 5? What if this was a 5? 29, 34, 8. Yeah, 8, 9. 8, 9 would leave us with 13 as the max, and it needs to be minimum 14. So this cannot be a 5. So now we have a 1, 3 pair cross. 1, 3 pair. And I think one of them is not possible, right? Because one of them will make them both the same number. And that one is a 1. If this is a 1, this will make this a 30. This is a 3, this will make this a 30. Actually, both that does work. Never mind. Is that the guaranteed case? Is this 3? This must be a 17, which would leave us with a 14 here, which is also possible, annoyingly enough. But I think in both cases we don't use the 5. I think using 5, 9 is not possible, because if this was a 1 using the 5, 9, this needs to be a 3, which takes us to 17, and we need to use the 9. But this cannot be a 5. So now we have all our highs here. Therefore, these are all our low numbers, including the 5. These cannot be 5s though. Let's just quickly think around the higher edge case, right? So let's say if this was a 3, this is 3, then this is a 7, 9, which means this is a 4 and a 6. Okay. Now this is a 1 going into 6 and 8, and it's 5, 7, so that's okay. So what's the flip side here? If this is a 1 and this is a 3, 1 and 3. Let's keep the 9 on this. No, actually, let's not keep the 9 on this side. Let's say this is a 7, 8, which requires a 6 and 7 up here. So a 3 going into 6 and 9, and we're reusing the 6. So that's not possible. So let me just think real quick. So if this was a 1 and this was a 3, and we're keeping the we're not keeping the 9 here, then this would be needing a 6, and this would also need a 6. So that's not possible. What if we flip it the other way? If we flip it the other way and we keep the 9 this time, then this would need a 5 and this would need a 5. So both ways are impossible. Okay, well, what if we think about it the other way, where we put the 3 on this end and the 1 on this end? And I think the same problem exists, right? I don't think this works at all, because yeah, whether we put the 6 or 9 or 7 or 8 here, we're either reusing the 6 or the 5. So this case doesn't work at all. So therefore this must be 3 and this must be a 1, leaving us with 7, 9 over here and 6, 8 over here, which means this is 5, 7. This is 4, 8. The box with the 6 circle has to have a 5 plus 1, so the 6 circle is with the 1 and the 7 circles with the 3. Yes, that's what we ended up with here. Beauty. Now, one of the odds is being used up here, so that's all our odds. This must be even. I feel like we made some healthy amount of progress. Actually, we can at least pencil mark what's in here, right? This is now 1, 2, 5, 6. This is 2, 3, 4, and 9. Sure, have the correct number. 2, 5, 6. Why are you not a valid option? This does not add up to 16. Did we do something wrong? 8. This is only add up to 14. What are we missing? Oh, this is not 8. This is a 6. That's what we're missing. It's a good thing we double check that. Alright, what are we left with here? This actually might be significant, right? 2, 8, and 9? This cannot be enough. So one of these is a 9. Whichever one is the odd is the 9. And the 9 must go into 2 or 4. So whichever is a 9 can only go into a 2 or 4. Here and here. Is that a problem? I don't see a problem with that right now. And a 2 will go into a 7 or 9, and the 8 will go into a 1 or a 3. Is there any issues with those numbers? I also don't see an issue. Well, actually, this cannot be a 2. Because then this would have to be a 7 or a 9. And there's a 7, 9 already here, so this cannot be a 2. And this also can't be a 2, because this 7, 9 also sees here. So therefore the middle number must be 2. And none of these can be 2s. Which almost is a problem for 9. So the 9, therefore, must go into a 4 down here. So one of these is guaranteed to be a 4. But this cannot be a 4. And this is not a 4 anymore. Alright, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the suggestions and help. We know there's a 6 and a 7 down here. So, what does 8 go into? 8 goes into 1 and 3. Does that cause any issues here? I was really hoping it would. So this 8 or 9. 9 can go into 2, which will take us into a 7. Could also go into a 4, which gives us a 3. 8 would take us to a 1, to a 6, or a 3 into a 4. All of those are okay, hey? Does narrow it down a little bit though. Actually, I wonder if I could put these same numbers here, couldn't I? Might as well. This is no longer an 8, we can get rid of that. This is no longer 9, we can get rid of that. Now I wonder, do we have to have a 3 in here? So this is where the 8 comes in handy again, right? The 8 needs a 1 and a 3. So if this is an 8, this could be a 1 and 3, this could be a 1. They can both be 1s and they can both be 3s. Same thing with here, same deal here. Doesn't really get rid of the 3 generally. Yeah, let's think about how this goes into this, right? That bears some thinking. For example, 9 can only see the 4. 4 can see the 3. 3 can see the 4. 2 cannot see any of them. So this cannot be 2. Okay, how about over here? 1 cannot see any of them. 2 cannot see any of them. So now that's just a 5 or 8. And 5 we know we can't be on the night line. This is an 8. That is great. Now the 8 can only go 1 or 3. So this is not the 4. This is the 4. And now we know the grays are evens. Oh, that is great. Doesn't resolve this though. But it does give us something here. So that means this is an 8. This is 8. This is 9. This is odd numbers. These are odd numbers. Or can go into both 3 and 9. Darn. But this does help, right? We can start probably numbering some of these now, right? So 3 can go into 4 or 8. Already a 4 on the line. 7 can go into 6 or 2. This seats everything. But we have to go through one of these numbers to get there, right? So 9. Let's go to 4 into 3. So 3 can't go back into the 4. 9 has to go to the 2 into the 7, so it can't go back into the 2. Six can go into 1 or 7, and 8 can go into 1, 3. Open. And again, I think this might all be ones. 9, 2, 7, 6 must go into the 1, so cannot go into a 7. 9, 4, 3, 8 must go. Yeah, so this is guaranteed 1. The 1 must go into 6 or 8 this way. I wonder if we could work some magic on this side now here. So 8, 8, 1, 6. 6 could go back into the 1 or 7, so that's not helpful. 8, 3, 4. And then 4 can go back into the 3. Also not helpful. Okay, so this side was more promising. But I think our luck might run out here. Right? Because 6, yeah. 6 can go into a bajillion things, and 8 can go into a bajillion things. We're not particularly locked out anymore. By much. Although, maybe anything that connects them to a 2 is problematic. Oh, but only 7, right? So 6, 7 can't go back into 6, so this can't be a 7. So it's a 1 or 3. So 6 goes into the 1, which goes into an 8, and then 8 goes into 1 or 3, which goes to 6 or 4. Well, okay. I wonder if it's the fact that we don't have an 8 means we can't do a 1-3 pivot. I mean, wait, this is 1, 7, or 9, right? Can't be a 5. Is there any problem numbers for these ones because we have an 8 on this line? Because a 1 needs 6 and 8, so this can't be a 1. So now this is just a 7 or 9. Seven needs 2 and 6. 9 needs 2 and a 4. So one of these is always a 2, which we already knew. That's not helpful. Nine needs 2, 4. 7 needs 2, 6. A 1, again, would require an 8, and we don't have an 8 here. This cannot be a 1. And a 3 would also require an 8. This cannot be a 3. Now we have a 7, 9 pair, so this must be a 1 or a 3. 1 would work with the 6. 3 will work with the 8 only. It works with both 6 and 8. These two are the same number. Maybe we should mark that. That number here. One of these numbers, right? Do they have to be the same number actually? 4 always goes into a 3. 2 always goes into a 7. Yeah, so they are the same number. This one, if it goes into a 6, it has to go back into a 1, then to the 8. If it goes into the 8, it can go into the 1 to the 6, or it can go to 3 into the 4. Maybe we should think about this number here. We've almost marked out everything on this night line except for this one. Right, let's just toss in all the numbers and see if there's anything that just doesn't work here. One would obviously well, 1, 8, 3, 4. I don't think this could be a 1. Because if it's 1, 6, 1, 8, then there's already a 1. This can't be a 1. Okay. How about 3? 3 can only go into a 4 or 8. So, if this was a 1, 6, 1, 8, 3, that would work. 1, 8, 3, 4 does not work. The 4 needs to go into the 9. And the 7 needs to come from a 6. So let's just plot out these lines here. Right? So if this was 1, 8, 3, 4, 9, this could be a 4 or 2. Okay. And then to get to the 7, we would need a 6. So working backwards, it would be 1, 8, 1, 6 to the 7. And this could be 2 or 6. And then to get the 3, this would need to be 8. So 1, 6, 1, 8, 3. This will have to be. Okay, well, we did as much as we could. For all the good that did. If this was a 3, this would be a 1. If this was a 7, 7 will connect to the 6, which will connect to the 1. Right? I think this is always a 1. Yeah, okay, this is always a 1. That was very unexpected. 1's obviously not very helpful because it goes both into 6 and 8, but it feels good to get a digit. Now, this is only can be 3 or 5. That means the other 7, 9 is up here somewhere. Let's call the other 7, 9. Let's give it a letter. Let's give that one B. This one is a C, so this is B as well. Unfortunately, that doesn't really help us to figure out which one of these is B or C. Oh, I'll keep it in mind for now. And where does the other 3-5 live? It's got a few places. Can I live here? Because we already have a 1, 3, 5. If it goes here, this would be a triple, right? We have a 1, 3, 5 triple. And then we need 2 more odds for the 7, 9 pair. I think that's okay. These as an A. Might as well mark it for now. I wonder, can we force this to be 1 or 3? Or just looking backwards, maybe? Okay. Let's say this is 9. If this is 9, wait, is this always 2? When we got this one down to 7 or 9, this is always 2, isn't it? Oh my gosh. Who would have thunk? That means these are opposite numbers, right? Because this is 7 or 9. These are opposite numbers. So these are the same number. These are the same number. Hey, Drunk Chess, how's it going? You're probably a person who would appreciate these puzzles. Haha, we got a direction now. This is a 4. So 9 goes into a 4, which must go into a 3. That is a 1. And then the 3 can go into an 8 or a 4. These both must be 8s. Now this 1 goes 8 to 1 can go to a 6. That's a 6, that's a 6, that's a 4. 4. From the 6 it can jump to a 7. It's a 9. Guess we can get rid of the 11 now. It looks like I've done the hard work. I just got a breakthrough. You came at the right timing. We're almost done with this knight as well. So let's see. 9 to 4. 4 can jump to a 9 or 3 cannot jump to a 7. 9 or 3 cannot touch the 6. So this is not a 6 anymore. 9 or 3 both needs the 4. They could also go to the 8. That's not as helpful. Ah, but there's a 4 here. So this is an 8 for sure. Which means this must be a 3. 3, 8, 1, the 6. And our knight line is almost done. Here we go. That's a 3. 9, rather. Oh, we still have 2 more knight lines, though. For a little disambiguation party. Five in box 7, 8, 9. Where does the 5 go? 5 here. Ah, this 5 sees this 5 here. Cheers. This must be somewhere now. 6 is in the middle, so this is now a 5, 7 pair. which we know which way it goes. This is 1-3, sees a 2. 1-3, we know which way that goes. 6-8, which way that goes, which this is a 5, that's a 7. Oh, and we can just do the math here, 7. That. What are we missing here? 7 and a 2? 3, 5, and 7. Which means this has to be a 7. Thanks to our X-Wing and also this triple here. We are left with 2 and a 5 here, and a 4 and a 9 here, which we do know which way those goes. 4 is left somewhere here. Things are going swimmingly now, he says, hoping not to jinx himself. Just wrapping up some Sudokuing. Reveal yourself, sevens. We might have to use those night lines soonish, because I am running out of things to look at. Ah, not quite yet though. Nice. Okay. Now the time we look at things, stuff. Is there Sudoku power run dry? All right, it's time to look at the night lines. This one doesn't have that many candidates left, does it? Right? It could be a 1, it could be a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 9. Okay, so only these numbers. So from the we might as well look at the candidates here first, and then we'll figure out whether they can jump from one to the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 could also be a 6, 7, or 8. The even number. So therefore, this one must be an odd number. So now we have a 1 going to a 6 or 8, or 9 going into a 2 or 4. They all work. Might as well color. Do a little bit of coloring. Never hurt anybody. Which did not help at all, as I expected. Okay, let's look at this one here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Well, we know it can't be a 5. Or 9. 4 can jump into a 9 or 3. Go for those there. 9 can go into 2 or 4, none of which are here. So this must be a 4. This is a 3 or 9. C's down here. 3 in the corner. This is not an 8, therefore this is the 8. Should use our pencil marking. 8, 8 sees this as an 8, which therefore goes into the 1. Puts 9 there, 3 there. Yes, 6 can go here. The 5, 7 leaves us with a 2. Yeah, I might have to edit down a little bit of the times where I'm just staring at it blankly, but not too shabby. Some leaps in logic there required, but weren't too difficult. I was just a little bit slow on that one. Yeah, this is the origins of the chess line constraint, so it's kind of cool to see where it all comes from.